Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the OSC Season 12 Championship. Welcome back to the final day here. Welcome to the lower bracket finals. We just wrapped up with 3 insane best of 5s featuring Dark, Hero, Beyond, and SKillous. But now we have reached our top 3. 3 players remain. Clem is waiting in the grand finals for the winner of this series of MaxPax and SKillous. Again, SKillous has been on a tear. He took down Beyond and Hero to make it this far, but MaxPax does stand ahead of him. And even though we have casted SKillous defeat MaxPax before, even not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, despite that, MaxPax is still favored. MaxPax, he's still favored. Sure, he has dropped some maps, he has dropped some series against SKillous, but it is still not a likely event to occur. This is still going to be a titan to bring down, and it's not going to be an easy one for SKillous. Here we go. Here we go. We'll see if he can bring him down, or if the favorite player will advance on instead, as game 1 is going to be on Ultra Love. Let's go. Let us go. As we are jumping into, once again, our best of 5. Again, all these matches are best of 5s. The grand finals, I believe, is going to be a best of 7. But until then, we are jumping into our first game. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our Danish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. And these two are some of the best Protoss players in the world, and both players are going to be opening up with a gate expand. Now, welcome to Ultra Love. Welcome on all. Ultra Love is one of these maps, one of the few maps in the map pool that has a ramp leading into the natural. Because of this ramp, it means it is viable to go for a gate set up here on the low ground, gate into Cybercore, into Stargate, into Nexus. So we have an economic start here from MaxPax. Likewise, same build out of SKillous. Now, what I will say here is that if both players mirror each other, if both players do go for the Stargate before the Nexus, then we should enter Phoenix Wars. Now, MaxPax, he's delaying his second gas. With that delayed second gas geyser, it looks like MaxPax may want to go for a faster expansion and a faster Nexus. That is going to be an option available here to MaxPax. But for now, SKillous, he is on patrol. And the goal here is to delay the expansion, and if SKillous is successful here, I mean, MaxPax should be doing the same. They should both force out a Stargate. As Cybercores are on the way, we do have our Zealot here from SKillous. The purpose of the Zealot is to focus on the pylon, is to be able to expand. Likewise, Zealot is also on the way for MaxPax as well. So mirrored build so far. It looks like we are leaning into Phoenix Wars. We're not there yet, but so far, that's the trajectory we're headed in. Is that trajectory? SKillous, he will soon have the resources here for the Stargate. Cybercore is done. And there it is. Stargate gets placed. Stargate for SKillous, Stargate for MaxPax. Welcome. Welcome one and all to Phoenix Wars. And again, this is kind of the direction we were headed in once we saw the opener. This is very common when it comes to these ramp expansions. So very common here on maps like Ultra Love. And this can be a very difficult style to play as both players take their natural bases. So again, the reason why I say this is Phoenix Wars is because both players scout each other. Both players know that there is a Stargate, so you would never make an Oracle, because if you did, if you make an Oracle, if your opponent makes a Phoenix, then your Oracle will just die and you just gain 0 value. So you have to make Phoenixes and you cannot stop. You're locked in. I say you can't stop. It is possible to transition out of this. It is difficult though. If your opponent is passive, as Phoenixes have begun, but if your opponent is passive, then you can cut Phoenixes at like 4. You can get up to like 4 Phoenixes and then throw down a Twilight Council and try to transition into Blink. And if your opponent doesn't push in, then you can get away with a Blink transition. But it is very difficult and you're relying on your opponent being passive. Otherwise, you're locked in. Adept does shade into the main. Ooh, 1 probe goes down. Nice pick up. The Zealot is popping off. Getting 1. Getting not quite 2. Whew. Nice control there by SKillous. I say that this is getting out of hand. Getting up to getting 3 probe kills already. 3 workers go down. That is a big deal here. That is a big win for MaxPax. Doesn't look like a lot, but in a mirror matchup, 3 workers is everything. So better start for MaxPax. SKillous moving out. MaxPax going for a much faster second Stargate to overwhelm and to gain a Phoenix lead. SKillous, he's playing with fire right now. He has to get the hell out of here. Uh-oh. He might be cornered. Once he turns, yeah, he's gonna have to fight. And he's gonna have to fight, gonna have to engage. First Phoenix goes down. Big win here for MaxPax. And things are looking dire for SKillous. Yeah, they're very dire here. He's gonna be locked down. They're gonna be cornered. He will lose everything. It's gonna be a quote-unquote even trade, but MaxPax, he does take a 1 Phoenix lead. He's up 1 Phoenix. And he will stay up a Phoenix. Yeah, so better trades here for MaxPax. Adept Zealot does break through that front door. Going for the mineral line. Getting some probes. Getting 1, getting 2. Getting up to 3. Oh, barely not. But what's important is the Phoenix advantage. And again, we're making 2 Phoenixes at a time. SKillous back at home goes for his own second Stargate. But looking at the units tab here, again, he is down a Phoenix. So last, he is still missing that Phoenix. He needs more gas. Did need more gas income. And MaxPax is ahead. He's up in workers, he's up in economy, he's up in Phoenixes. Now, it is not impossible to bounce back. There is a chance, especially if MaxPax is active with these Phoenixes, where SKillous can try to bypass the army of MaxPax, catch a reinforcing Phoenix, and then catch up. So there is a chance. But he can't fight head-on. Good. Cannot fight head-on. Both players pylon block. And MaxPax, he blocks both expansions. SKillous pulls away. SKillous, he only blocks the bases on the right-hand side, not on the left. So MaxPax, he can expand. And get the expansion. MaxPax has 8 Phoenixes to the 7 of SKillous. Fleet Beacons on the way. That's going to be for Phoenix range and the Impulse Crystals. And what that ensures is that MaxPax will get the first shot. I say that SKillous not too far behind with his own Fleet Beacon. There's that pylon block. MaxPax attempting to expand. It's going to be delayed. So is SKillous. Again, the reason why these pylons are brutal is because you don't really have anything that shoots down. Phoenixes, they can't destroy buildings. So you have to make a Zealot. It takes a long time for that one Zealot to take down all these pylons. As again, you don't want to make like a Stalker. You don't want to make a ground unit that's too expensive because that eats into your Phoenixes. You don't really have the gas for it, so you have to make a Zealot. Speaking of, Zealot goes down. And the pylon stands strong. So neither player can expand. Not yet. Again, this is also a dynamic of Phoenix Wars. This is also why these pylon blocks are so crucial. Because they are so annoying to deal with. But there we go, MaxPax deals with the pylon. Finally, MaxPax can expand. SKillous will soon be able to as well. Meanwhile, Phoenix range is now done here for MaxPax. It's going to finish up in a couple of seconds for SKillous. MaxPax is up 2 Phoenixes. SKillous, here we go. He does catch a reinforcing Phoenix. Very nice. We spoke about this. He does get 1. Oh, ooh, he bleeds out 1 though. Ah. So not as worth it for SKillous. Trading 1 for 1. Oh, tries to stack. Does attempt to. They do trade. Still better for MaxPax. Still ahead by 1. Third Stargate's on the way. Now that the Fleet Beacon is done, we should be going for a Mothership. A Mothership is another big power spike here for both players. What the Mothership entails here is a cloak timing. As you can imagine, there's no robo. There's 0 detection. There's no Oracle. You can't make an Oracle. If you make an Oracle, you're down another Phoenix. So Mothership timings are a big part of Phoenix Wars. We'll see who makes the Mothership first, as there it is. Speaking of, Mothership from MaxPax. So again, this cloak timing can be brutal. Basically, SKillous, he needs to scout this ahead of time, and if he's able to see this coming, then he can chrono out one Oracle, and he needs that Oracle for the revelation. Otherwise, the Mothership is just going to bully SKillous. So again, there are these certain power spikes in Phoenix Wars. The first one is the second Stargate, then Anion Pulse Crystals, then the Mothership, and then Carriers. Carriers is kind of like the next final step after the Mothership. Meanwhile, MaxPax does take a fourth. Skill still on 3 bases. Phoenix count still in favor of MaxPax, 21-19. And SKillous, he never went for his own Mothership. Oh, never went for his own. So he has like no counter cloak play. Here we go. We're getting ready. Mothership is soon to arrive. Do Toss ever throw down random forward shield batteries? They do. They do. Like, shield batteries can be a factor early on, but at this stage of the game, because there's so many pieces, the shield batteries do nothing. Like, they don't heal in time. Meanwhile, would you go for the mineral line? And here comes the cloak. Mothership a little bit too far behind, but despite that, still a better trade for MaxPax. Does still outtrade regardless. But it was a bit of a wasted cloak, I will say that. As SKillous, was able to stay out of range. Cloak is about to run out. Still better fights than MaxPax anyway. Again, he's just going to overwhelm. We have the Guardian Shield. Let's go. The supporting sentry. The Guardian Shield. So he just an even better trade here for MaxPax. He takes a massive lead. And SKillous, he has nothing left. GG gets called. Rough fight there for SKillous. He gets caught out in the open, and MaxPax will take a 1-0 lead. Ooh, GG. GG, well played. Again, MaxPax, he was ahead from the beginning. If you remember, MaxPax, he did have a faster second Stargate. Likewise, was able to get some early probe damage, and from almost the beginning of the game, MaxPax, he was up by 1 Phoenix, and that is a big advantage here for MaxPax to be up by 1. He also caught a Phoenix early on, if you remember, which is what led to that. From there, he was able to, of course, have that Mothership timing as well, which unfortunately SKillous wasn't able to get, and likewise, MaxPax also on 4 bases faster as well. So a very solid setup there for MaxPax. Does take a lead, and now that leads us into game number 2, ley lines. But yes, there are random shield batteries that can come into play, but that's only like in the early to mid game. As the game progresses, they're less effective just because the burst damage of the Phoenixes, it just out damages the healing potential of shield batteries. So over time, they're a little bit less impactful. But here we go, we're getting to our next game. Cannons can be more impactful in a late game scenario, because cannons, they do like free damage basically. So you can have defensive cannons that can be influential if you end up in a split map scenario. But until then, we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom left hand corner of ley lines, we have our Danish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Psystorm. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back, we have the blue Protoss for Team Liquid. It is SKillous. Go. As welcome to ley lines. Ley lines does not have a ramp coming into the natural, so we should not see Phoenix Wars. We should not be seeing that low ground setup. We shouldn't be seeing Stargate versus Stargate. We should not be seeing Phoenix Wars. I say shouldn't. It's still possible. It is still possible that we end up in that kind of scenario if SKillous opens Stargate, but that shouldn't happen. MaxPax should open Stargate. As MaxPax, he's going for the same build, but on the high ground. So Gateway into Cybercore, into Stargate, then into a Nexus. Meanwhile, SKillous opens up 2 Gate, which means SKillous has the option to go for a 1-base all-in. Does have the option. Second pylon gets thrown down, so far, no proxy. No proxy out of SKillous. From here, double stalker opener out of SKillous. Meanwhile, there's a Stargate we mentioned from MaxPax. Just a really safe way to play. Basically, this Stargate opener is for oracles, so you can see it's rallied across the map. And if SKillous does go for an all-in, if MaxPax recognizes that an all-in is happening, then he can make Void Rays defensively. And Void Rays are ideal defensively early on. They don't really scale well into a longer game, but at least when it comes to defensive play against all-ins, like, they have their place. As MaxPax does expand. And my eyes are on SKillous here. What's going on? Going double stalker into stalker sentry. The probe does back off. Pivots back around. And do we hide any tech? What's the plan? SKillous is being very intentional with this worker. Okay, just coming in for a scout. Just coming in for a scout. SKillous, he will throw down his own Nexus. It is a delayed expansion out of SKillous. Ooh. And he does throw down a pylon. Does throw down the pylon. SKillous does have an army lead, at least initially. He is moving out. And the Oracle has arrived. And again, it's going to be on that Oracle to get some economic damage. Adept does shade across the map, but the last SKillous, he's on top of this. He does wall off. Oracle gets spotted. And SKillous is trying to push in. Does have that sentry, does have a force field. And he can force field the ramp. He can look down the army. Oh, it's going to be zoned back though. It's going to be zoned away. Likewise, that first Zell taking a lot of hits. Shield battery's out of energy. Going for the probes. And the Oracle does dive in. So far, there's a force field going into the shield battery. Oracle into the main stage is going up. Oh no! Late reaction! No reaction. Oh my god. Late reaction out of SKillous, so we do catch half the mineral line. But at the same time, SKillous, he knocks down that pylon, or the shield battery at least. Takes down the Adept. Is gaining ground. A Void Rays on the way for Max. Actually spoke about this. If SKillous is overly aggressive, then Void Rays will defend. But Max actually needs more time. We'll lose the second shield battery. Another force field. Locking down the probes. Void Rays revealed. SKillous, he does get the pylon. Not bad. Takes down the pylon. Pulls away. Blink is in production for MaxPax. And the worker count is still very close, very even. Oh. Oracle gets shut down. Void Ray dives into the army, gets one, gets two stalkers. MaxPax, he can shut this down. More reinforcements. Slow Warbirds are coming in. But the Warbirds are slow. And MaxPax is holding. There's no shield battery though. Oh. Shield battery wasn't replaced. MaxPax warping in one stalker at a time. Going for an Oracle follow-up. SKillous, he's regaining control of the low ground. Remember, SKillous, he can warp in 2 units at a time. MaxPax cannot. Again, just dancing with the army, getting it low. Stalker goes down, massive pickup. Trades 1 for 1. And the shield battery now completes. Oof. Yeah, and with that shield battery, MaxPax, he holds. He does hold on, forcing back SKillous. SKillous still trying to reinforce. The Oracle dives on top of those stalkers. We'll take down both of them. Gonna be zoned away. SKillous barely does pull out. But alas, we'll lose the pylon. Was very committed, wasn't quite worth it in the end. Does retreat. Now, my biggest concern here is that this entire time, MaxPax, he was building up towards Blink, and Blink is done. Blink is now done for MaxPax. Blink just halfway done here for SKillous. So MaxPax, he can be active, and he's pushing. He is moving out. Both players are expanding. SKillous has the high ground. Not quite. Please add a stalker. It's just stretching. And MaxPax is going to try to break SKillous here before Blink. Blink is done in 10 seconds. But even despite that, MaxPax still has that Stalker lead. 12 to 10. MaxPax moving in. Diving on the army. Trying to break through, barely not able to. Likewise, Oracle into the main. Oh. SKillous is keeping up. Keeps up with the Oracle. Likewise, keeping up with MaxPax. Shield battery still not yet done though. It's still a tough hold for SKillous. As he's down 2 Stalkers. Base is under fire. SKillous, he cannot afford to lose that. He can't lose the third. He might have to pull the boys. It's getting desperate here. Shield battery just now finishing up. Is going to help. Better CranKy for MaxPax. He's overwhelming. He's overwhelming the army. MaxPax, he's so close to breaking that third. SKillous, he's barely holding on. 12 against 14. Another sector in the shade. They can and they will. They shade in. Probes are falling. Taking one-shots. We're going for the base as well. It's going to go down. Massive pickup. Third base falls. 2 dead workers. And MaxPax, he retreats. He's content. GG gets called. It's too much to come back from. And MaxPax, he will take a 2-0 lead. Whew. GG. GG. MaxPax punishing the aggression of SKillous. As a reminder, SKillous, he went for a later expansion with a faster second gateway, went for a proxy pylon across the map, and SKillous was doing his best here to try to break that natural, and it was doing okay. Remember, SKillous, he was denying mining time, he killed the shield battery, killed the pylon, but eventually MaxPax broke out. And because he broke out, he was able to take advantage of his blink timing, of the earlier blink, of the superior economy. And with that, MaxPax is snowball out of control. SKillous, he tried to stabilize with a third base, but as we saw, he could not maintain that third. Barely could not. MaxPax did punish the aggression of SKillous, and with that, GG. MaxPax now has a 2-0 lead, and the pressure is now on SKillous. And I'll be honest, I feel like we haven't really seen what SKillous is made of here. Game 1, Phoenix Wars. Game 2, early aggression failed for SKillous. Game 3, can we embrace the mid-game? Can we get there in a more kind of fair or even setting? Or do we try to mix it up again? We're about to find out. Game 3 is on El Dorado. Let's go. Yeah, loading into El Dorado. And the pressure is on. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of El Dorado, we have the Danish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player representing Team Liquid. Down in the series 0-2, he has to fight back here and now to make a series out of this. It is SKillous. Pressure is on. And welcome to El Dorado. Similar to Ultra Love, what do we have here? We have a ramp coming into the natural. So once again, this feels like the beginning of Phoenix Wars. Does feel like the beginning of Phoenix Wars here. What I'm referring to, oh, actually, Nexus first? Oh wait, he's crazy. SKillous, calm down. Okay, I mean, that's a way to kind of break the mold. True. As he goes straight up Nexus first. No gas, no gateway, no cybercore, no nothing. Straight up Nexus first here out of SKillous. Very greedy by our blue Protoss player. Meanwhile, MaxPax going for his own standard opener, which should be gate into cybercore, into expansion. But because of the scout, MaxPax is going for the Nexus as well. Okay, so what's important about what's happening here? One, SKillous is more greedy. SKillous will have the slightly better economy. MaxPax, his response is to play catch up. His response is, okay, you're being greedy. I'm not going to punish you. I'm going to try to catch up instead. So no all in. SKillous is safe. And we're going to be getting into a more back and forth mid game. Also, because of that earlier Nexus, most likely we shouldn't really be going into Stargate play. MaxPax most likely will, but SKillous doesn't need to. SKillous, he might deviate and go into Twilight Council instead. But now SKillous fully walling off, throwing down extra gateways. Cybercore is done, there's that Stargate. Again, we expect a Stargate out of MaxPax, this makes sense. From the side of SKillous, he has options. Does have options. There's also going to be more pressure and more onus on MaxPax to go for an Oracle. Sorry, to get economic damage done with the Oracle. Because SKillous is ahead. Well, I should say SKillous does have a better economy. So MaxPax needs to do something about that. The Oracle will help. We are making workers. Making probes. Oracle's on the way. The Oracle has a lot of work to do. Right now, SKillous is up 4 probes, or 3.5. Building up. We have a tech of choice, so it's going to be an Oracle opener into Twilight Council into Blink. Meanwhile, MaxPax, he has yet to, SKillous, he has yet to throw down any tech. This feels like, I was going to say Robo follow-up, but no, it's going to be a Twilight Council. So much later Twilight Council out of SKillous into later Blink. But we'll see if he can maintain that greater economy. Can he pull this off? Oracle gets spotted. Shield battery is ready. We go for the stasis into the main. SKillous, he does pull away in time. Does pull away. Second stasis gets thrown down. We'll catch some of the gas mining workers. 3 in total. Not bad. Does nice some gas. MaxPax going for a proxy. Uh-oh. He's going 4 gate blink. He's going for 4 gate blink stalker. 3 gates on the way. 1 already done. Hyper aggression out of MaxPax. He wants to go for the kill. Wants to go for the kill, and SKillous, he doesn't. Oh, he does see the pylon. Okay. Big scout. SKillous, he saw the pylon. That is a tell that something is wrong. I mean, he might believe it's just a spotter pylon. I'm here. SKillous looking to expand, taking a third. Oh, breaks out. Does break out. MaxPax is taking his own third base, but the gateways are finishing. And SKillous, he will scout, he will force a cancel. Very nice pick up. Denies the proxy gate. Okay. Denies the proxy, denies the 4 gate blink. And from here, SKillous can expand. We even supply blocking MaxPax. Does get supply blocked. Likewise, MaxPax still going to be throwing down those proxy or reinforcing pylons. SKillous trying to keep up. So far, so good. SKillous now getting to his own 4th gateway and Forger +1. Does bait out the stasis, not bad. Blinks forward. Uh-oh. Takes another to the face. Massive connection. And MaxPax, he can rotate. There's not much less to defend. And that much less to hold on. MaxPax, he overwhelms. Takes down the stalkers. Gets 1. Gets the sentry. Nice pickups. Here, SKillous breaking out. Does try to break out, does try to push across the map. SKillous does have a stalker lead. Shield battery's not ready. SKillous, can he force each at the same time? Oracle into the natural. Getting 5 probe kills. 5 workers going down. SKillous trying to make use of that greater stalker count. Rotates towards the main. But MaxPax is buying time. And the shield batteries are now done. With that MaxPax solid blink, oh my god. Saves all the stalkers. No major losses. So far, better trades from MaxPax. Dives into the mineral line, gets a probe, gets 2. As the dust settles, MaxPax has a slight economic lead. Comparable army counts. Very close. What we do see, though, MaxPax is getting a 4th base towards the top right corner of the map. SKillous is going for the gold, and there's potential. With that gold base, he will have an abundance of minerals. He can reinforce with more gateways, more zealots. We'll see if SKillous gets away with the gold. We'll see if he does get away with it. MaxPax moving in. Respecting SKillous, does pull away. MaxPax getting ready for a run by. I believe he has yet to confirm. Yeah, he has not scouted the fort. Doesn't know if it's been taken at the more standard gold, the center gold. Doesn't know. What's important about this center gold base is that there are gases. Gases are available, which is more than I can say for the other gold. More standard base. Like my skills forcing MaxPax back. Like we're just trading with the stalkers. Both players getting into +2. Charge is done for both as well. Nice bait with that blink. I mean, 2 trades also coming from behind. Oh my god! Yeah, MaxPax with the flank. He does take the fight. Oh, SKillous caught off guard there. And he's losing a lot. Losing far too much. More zealots coming in. SKillous pinned down. He has to blink over the wall. And again, these are better trades for MaxPax. Takes a massive lead. I mean, both players were looking quite comparable with each other, but that charge timing was brutal. Meanwhile, SKillous has been making workers, trying to saturate that gold. Alas, is going to be denied. At least MaxPax is going for it. And peels away more zealots. Let's go for the expansion. Skills getting pulled apart. Cybercore under fire. Cybercore is going to be sniped. No more stalkers. At the same time, zealots collapse on top of the stalkers as well towards the south side. So we'll be more zealots. Zealots are on the way. Stalkers, they check for the gold. No expansion. And again, as while SKillous is being busy, he is about to be overrun. He's holding on for now, though. I mean, the cannon putting in a lot of work. Nice SimCity. SKillous, he's holding. He's holding on. Chasing down MaxPax. +2 is done in 10 seconds. Oh, Prism goes down. Brutal snipe. But SKillous, hey, he defends the gold. Does defend, does hold on to it. SKillous can now enjoy a boosted economy. Still has the higher stalker count and zealot count. Army in favor of SKillous. MaxPax, he can reinforce behind the army, though. Can do it again. SKillous speaking forward. Going for the 4th. Shield battery is coming into play. Yeah, it supports MaxPax quite a bit. That's a kill, not a cancel. Base goes down at the same time. DTs, they get across the map. Zealot even. They force defensive warpins. They force him back home. MaxPax rotating in. Oh, does snipe that Prism. Prism goes down. Zealots once again coming from behind. SKillous with the move command. Throws his Zealots away. We once again see better fights for MaxPax. chasing SKillous down. Likewise, we do flank with more zealots, warping in front of the army. The power of the proxy, the gateway. SKillous, he does have the high ground though. He's up to 43 stalkers. He has so many stalkers. Just pure stalker essentially. Cannibal MaxPax, he's trying to. He's attempting to overwhelm. Again, both players still very tense. Now, what's been sustaining SKillous this entire time is the gold, right? The gold base has allowed him to sustain himself. Speaking of gold base, is going for the second gold. Going for the second expansion. So I would say that MaxPax has been trading better and has been more efficient. But SKillous, with a boosted economy, I mean, he can just reinforce. He can just keep warping in more and more stalkers. Meanwhile, DTs, they do hit the gold. Cannon goes down. Dark Temple, they're wreaking havoc. So we see a forced recall to get the Observer going. Observer does make it back home in time to defend, but DTs, they still break through. Probes are going down. And finally, MaxPax, he will break the gold. Breaking the gold base. At the same time, Zalramba hits towards the third. SKillous, he's losing control of his economy. SKillous is becoming more and more all-in, as that's going to be 15 workers going down. And SKillous, he will break the expansion. Nexus is going to fall. It's a nice start, but he's trying to push into a concave. He just cannot. He cannot break through. MaxPax is now a massive supply lead. Stasis goes off as well, catching out the retreating SKillous. DTs and Zelts are still wreaking havoc. They're going for the base. They're going for the Nexus, and it's going to go down as well. Oh, it's so close. No, she saves it. Barely. Does he? Ooh, he does. Barely saves the base. Both expansions do survive, but SKillous is down to 54 workers, 54 probes. What was once a greater economy, now he's barely holding his own. He's barely keeping up. Again, the DT and Zealot counterattacks did pay off here for MaxPax. And now, for the first time in a long time, MaxPax, he's only down by 3 stalkers. Like, he has a comparable stalker army. Something that SKillous has had over MaxPax for most of this game. Not anymore. MaxPax going back. Trying to retake that center expansion. I mean, at least SKillous has denied that base over and over and over again. He has been able to snipe that center expansion. MaxPax double expanding, going for the gold. Okay, another stasis pops off. No. Nikita, calm down. He's trying to hold on. So I'll say bust into the natural. Bust in. Cannon does fall. What else towards the south side? DTs as well, going for the cannon. Cannon is going to get picked up. SKillous, so he's maxed out. Now, SKillous, he has a super maxed army. He has less workers for a greater army supply. So he is a little bit more committed. I mean, the gold bases make up for the lower probe counts, true. They'll still have both. You know, better fight for MaxPax. Gets extra volleys off, catching out their stalkers. SKillous being forced further back. Back enemy does save the expansions, they'll save the mineral lines. He's holding on. Economy still in favor of MaxPax. Yo, we got the red hours. Crazy. SKillous looking for another way in. He rotates, he backs up. Trying to force MaxPax out into the open. Max pulls away. Does pull away, does have a bit of concave. Not bad. Stasis going off. I mean, SKillous, he's got 57 stalkers to the 46 of MaxPax. We spoke about this, but SKillous, he can get away with a lower probe count because of the gold bases. So he has more army supply, but he needs to use it. He needs to use it. Likewise, MaxPax, he's still refusing to tech up. We could see, you know, a robo into a bay into disruptors. Or even more immortals. But nah. Purely gateway compositions instead. Let's go. Oh, the stalkers. Let's move forward. Spoke in, denies some mining time, not bad. Takes down 7 probes. Stays about to run out. Zealous did a great job tanking once again. We do get a better trade here out of MaxPax. Shaves off extra stalkers. How would easily be forced back? And it's forced to retreat. Still very tense. Rotating once again. Gets a couple of workers. SKillous down to 46 probes. MaxPax just taking more bases. Let's go. Takes that northern base. Why not? Now with the mass force with SKillous, he's forced to engage. Does have on top of the Immortal. Immortal goes down. We did mention the Immortals earlier. MaxPax, he is diversifying. And SKillous, does he have enough? Does get into the mineral line. Takes down the probes. ETs are waddling in. But there is detection. And SKillous, he's forcing MaxPax back. Again, the soup does lie. We spoke about this. MaxPax, he's up in supply, but that is in workers. That's a high probe count. Not a large army. Again, MaxPax needs a little bit more time to reinforce. There we go. Zealous, they come in. And this is what MaxPax was waiting for. GG gets called. Zealous, they have arrived. You overwhelm SKillous. And SKillous, he taps out. MaxPax, he will take the series 3-0. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, a very interesting final game here between MaxPax and SKillous. For the most part, it was just two armies with like this big back and forth between them. They were almost always like in lockstep with each other, always engaging, always pushing in. But what really was the MVP for MaxPax, as we saw towards the end, is that SKillous was all in because he had lost all of his economy. He had lost worker after worker after worker. He was holding on to his nexuses, but he was losing probes. Again, the DT and Zealot run-bys were proving to be a little bit too much. Despite even having cannons to defend, it just wasn't enough. It was not enough, just too much economic damage, and SKillous, he ran out of steam towards the end. He ran out of workers, ran out of the economy, and could not keep up. Could not sustain himself. GG, well played. With that, MaxPax, he will take the 3-0, and MaxPax will advance on into a rematch against Clem. Let's go. Ooh, oh my god, let us go. Again, Clem, he has been patiently waiting in the grand finals. This is a rematch. Clem did defeat MaxPax earlier in this tournament, did bring him down, was it 3-1? Yes, he did bring him down 3-1 previously, but now MaxPax, he is here for his revenge, and we'll see if he can get it here, as this is going to be a best of 7.